Hello. So let's annihilate Andypants, or as I call him, morbidly obese retard soy boy. So let's look at this fucking monstrosity of lipids and fat cells and see if there is anything of value in this fucking disgusting slop that he calls content. Now, first off, you'll notice this Giga Chad profile picture thing as his banner, right? So as we all know, he is morbidly obese. He does not look anything like that guy. Like this is one thing that like all the culture war right like love to simp for. They always get like Giga Chads like Henry Cavill, like oh Henry Cavill agrees with us, and then like the thing that he agrees with them on is um he likes the thing that you don't actually like because you can literally look at any anti-woke YouTuber who has actually covered things like The Witcher or Magic the Gathering or Wizard or Warhammer 40K or any of that, and find out that no, you guys have never liked what he likes at all. You might find one person who's an ex DC fan, but then you really realize like you look at their like their videos and you never see them promote any of the good DC comics, only shit on the bad ones. And yes, anyone who actually has a brain, there are still plenty of good DC comics coming out every year. There's just you don't hear about them because the anti-woke slop only covers the bad ones. Imagine that. And this is the really the point of like why like look at this. We are winning. Why are they winning? Well, they aren't because they have to make something in return, but they can't make anything, which is why they're losing. They are not winning at all because you in order to win, what you have to do factually is make something of your own, which Mark Kern has proven that culture war fuckwads like this retard are incapable of doing something like that. In fact, the only people who are conservative who have made anything have never interacted with the culture war at all. Case in point, Scott Cawthorn. Scott Cawthorn is conservative, but you will never, ever, ever hear him talk about the culture war. Why? Because it's a retarded idea that only fucking morbidly obese retards would ever believe in. Similarly, the Ori dev, he mentioned one thing about DEI, and that was it. That was his entire shtick. And these guys dick rode him for like a month, and then they look at, but did they actually play his game? Hell no, because they would find out that it's a game about furries, and that's woke as fuck. But these guys are just that retarded that they don't realize that no one actually agrees with them because they're just right wing Kotaku. Rage baiters supreme. This is all it is, by the way. It's just Kotaku slop, but with a right wing spin. It's nothing new, and it's nothing good. All right, let's look at Kotaku. Just so you know, Kotaku. Let's actually look at their fucking worthless piece of shit site, and you'll see like a theme with this, right? All right, so let's look at these, right? So, oh wow, all these fairly weird headlines, right? So we have things like this, but then you actually click on it, right? And yeah, this is the whole fucking page, right? It's slop designed to gain clicks, like everything. So now this is more positive slop. Normally, Kotaku's bigger articles are ones with headlines like this. Now they don't always do that because while Kotaku is a fucking disgusting site full of shitty people, they tend to at least try to put a positive spin sometimes because hey, look, they might not make anything, but it gives them a bit of a pass, right? Hey, this thing rocks, actually, right? And then no one really reads the article, but they all know it rocks because it actually does genuinely rock. But they only do that to try to feign legitimate journalism. This guy doesn't even pretend to. He is a fucking retard. You can't even feign positivity at all. And the reason for this is because if he ever once stops in his 9,001 daily upload video schedule of literally the most disgusting retardation I've ever seen. Okay, like look at this. Oh, our gamer's homophobic, a gay shit. What like how about actually like play a good game, motherfucker? Like look at this. This is the last video where he made that like he was actually liking a game, right? The genius of Fallout, right? Right? This is actually wait. We have yeah, two videos that are actually positive in his entire fucking shitty channel. Two videos. Two. And his 40 video fucking schlop fest. And of these 40 videos, look at it. It's just a bunch of slurs and nonsense by, let's just face it, a fucking morbidly obese 9,001 pound retard who lost in a debate to the fucking Act Man. That's right. He's so fucking retarded, has so little brain cells. He lost to a debate to the Act Man. He lost a debate to the Act Man, who is a normie, right? Normies are notoriously shit at debate. They tend to always be right, but when it comes to being in a debate, like Charlie, Act Man, any normie person, which is normal, by the way. Funny enough, he says that the woke hates normal, but if he actually despises the normies, you know, the normal people, the normal men, the people who are normal, which is, you know, proof that he's a fucking shitty disgrace. But let's see here. 2004. Oh, this is a funny thing here, right? 2004, we have like a game that was great, but it started a man. In 2024, we have a game that will likely be great that stars an Asian woman, right? But here's the thing, right? His point is that games star women now a lot more often. But let's actually go to 2004's video game list. This is a thing you can kind of do with like 5 seconds of Googling, right? So yeah, we have a bunch that star men, sort of, right? We have Pokemon, which you can star either or, right? So you have a bunch of them, so that's already one thing. And then, you know, a lot of the games that starred men back in the day were GTA, so you have a criminal, right? So he's not a good guy. And then even then, when you star a man, it's like, it's like Master Chief, a guy who has no face at all, right? Like, yeah, Master Chief is a man, but what's manly about his body or his face? Well, you don't know because he never takes his helmet off, right? For all we know, he could actually be a fat piece of shit in there, right? Maybe that's why he's thinking. Like, if I put on this suit of armor, I'd stop looking like because this is what maybe this is what Master Chief looks like when he's out of the armor, you know? But in all seriousness, what's really masculine about like a lot of this? Oh, you've got Halo 2, but you've also got Metroid Zero Mission, and you've also got like, you know, a bunch of puzzle games and stuff. Metro games like with metrosexual characters like Beautiful Joe, one of the gayest games ever made. You've also got Kingdom Hearts, probably the gayest series of games ever made, you know? Like, 2004 was so anti-woke that you had like furries and femboys and fat guys and all that all over gaming, and occasionally you had like a movie tie-in to a muscular dude, or like a series like Halo where you played as a undescript guy who sounded slightly masculine, right? Like, I think Far Cry was the only one where like it was actually like you were the good guy and you were actually muscular this whole fucking year. Now notice there's not a lot of games this year. Like 2024 has a list that like it devours this entire list right here, right? This entire list is literally vored by this effectively, right? So there's no good, like this isn't a good you know list of games. Now is it? Oh wait, this is just the top. Okay, 1 second. Let's actually list the whole thing. All right, let's do this. All right. So yeah, like this is all the games released. Okay, so still far less than what we have in this year, right? Like hell, there's more indie games released in a month on Steam than this. But most of these, it's like okay, anime femboys, all right, so gay, emasculated, right? And that's most games on this list, right? And then a bunch of furry games like Sly Cooper. All right, so furries that are like not masculine at all looking because it's Sly Cooper. You could at least have bar furries like the horse guy from Black Myth Wukong, but you don't really have that. That's not who you play as. Doom 3, I mean, it's a Doom game, I guess. It's probably the worst Doom game, but hey, it's a game that exists. You start generic guy, generic pants, right? And then of course you have Metal Gear Solid, in like the next category. So like if we keep going, like eventually you find Metal Gear Solid and Halo, and you have a couple masculine dudes. But like mostly like Harry Potter, like you start like a kid who's like I hate to say Harry Potter in like Link from the Legend of Zelda are not masculine men. They are effeminate as fuck, right? At least Link is like usually like an adult though, but like Harry is literally a child, and like there's nothing really masculine about him, right? So most games, like whether they starred men or not, they were either emasculated or like kids. Like that was just how most games were back in 2004. He's talking about one fucking game, and there were three that follow that category. Three. Three. The entire year, there were three that are on his list. There are more than that this month, right? There are more than that this month. And he's mad that there were three. He's mad that back then there were three, and now there's less. There was never a high percentage of manly games, unless you count these shitty sports games like, I don't know, NFL Street was actually pretty good. But like NHL, like the fuck out of here bullshit, you know what I mean? Like NFL Street was like actually like the Street series of sports games was actually pretty decent if I remember correctly. It's like NBA Jam on like the arcades, right? Some of them are pretty decent, but most of these games aren't masculine at all, right? They weren't really straight at all either. They were honestly gay and retarded in 2000, more gay and retarded in 2004 than anything else. I mean, like SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the game, and it's like one of the games like a lot like once you get past like the Halo 2 and the Metal Gear Solid 3, this is what people go back to. It's these kinds of games, right? All the kids games that were pretty good. Like these are great games, like Up Your Arsenal, SpongeBob SquarePants video game, Jack 3, and all that. All amazing games, right? Sly Cooper 2, all of that. All of them are great games. But you notice something, right? You start to notice something. They aren't really like going for his argument, right? Chain of Memories was on here too, like I said, but it's Chain of Memories. People don't really like. People prefer like the PS2 version. Even then, a lot of people don't like it. But yeah, so a couple of games here and there. I guess Terminator 3: The Redemption, maybe. Let's even see how this fucking thing played. All right, where's the gameplay? We don't see anything. Let's see. I don't really see anything like so we had some shitty games that starred a guy that was masculine, but that was what was also in the movies. So yeah, very few of the quote uber masculine games even sold. Most of the best selling games around here didn't have this guy. They had one of these guys right here. Where is it? Let's page. Well, actually, I could probably do. Yeah, there we go. Tac 2. This is like a big seller, right? This was a big seller, probably. This like Game Boy or something. I remember this. This was fun as fuck. But like those were the games you played. You played fun games with weebs in them, right? Like that was what you played. That was what most people played. I think like there's got to be a Dragon Ball game in there, right? Huh, fun enough. Oh yeah, yeah. So Budokai 3, right? Budokai 3 is probably the only anime game like out there, right, at the time that had actual like masculine dudes in it. Most of these were like, Kingdom Hearts, the most effeminate male character of all time. A cave story where you play like a genderless robot. Ah, yes. Totally not like gay as fuck, but like also um the genderless robot character you play as is one of the most popular games at the time that's still played to this day. So we have a lot of games where it's like, well, they're fun, right? But that's kind of the thing. No, there was none of this like talking points about gaming back then, but they were all like that. Most games were gay and retarded back then. They were never mostly like this straight white male thing. You can just actually pay attention and have a memory old like that lasted longer than a goldfish, and you would easily be able to tell that this guy is a fucking retard. He has zero brain cells because even a goldfish remembers things longer than him. Fucking pathetic, right? And that's just the fucking title screen, right? I like when I can debunk your fucking thumbnails. You're fucking retarded. And I'm not gonna watch this retard videos because they're not being streamed by someone who's actually competent. That's basically a good way to say it. The only way I watch this is when he can't get my money. So here's a little bit of a truth bomb for you, Andypants. Why is it that that conservatives on your side, the best game they can make is um what was it? What was that again? Like like Soul Ash, right? A game where the gameplay is literally rogue, right? One of the hey, look, the game has fun concepts, but the actual gameplay is non-existent. So it's better to like it's always better to play a rogue like that isn't actually rogue than rogue, right? Like that's kind of how it is. Rogue is a very good genre creator, genre definer, or whatever, but it's not really a good game. I'm just gonna say that the original Rogue is not that good of a game. It's more of this is a good concept, but it's a pretty shitty game, and that's kind of what Soul Ash is. It's got the concepts. It adds a bit more graphical fidelity, but ultimately the game itself is pretty dog shit. Like there's nothing really to do. You just look at like a picture of your avatar, and that's it. You see numbers appear, but don't really know what they mean, and kind of things like that. And then eventually you might figure out what they mean, and you're still like, this is just hide light. Because that's literally what Rogue was. It was a procedural version of hide light. Remember that game that AVGN covered and said was one of the worst fucking disgusting RPGs he's ever played in his entire life? That's Rogue. That's literally what Rogue is. Now, it's a decent concept. It's a decent set of rules. But by itself, those rules are not a good game. Those rules can make a good game, as you've seen with things like Binding of Isaac or Hades or Cult of the Lamb, or name a fucking indie game made it like the past couple years. Is it's that good that like people want it, again and again and again. But they need something surrounding it. They need actual like fucking animations and shit. Because basically, Rogue, a good way to say it is, a lot of RPGs, it's basically they're playable movies, right? But like Soul Ash, Rogue, and all those kinds of like actual roguelikes, like not roguelites, but roguelikes, ones that are just rogue with a different color of paint, right? They don't even have animation, so you're just like kind of like playing a movie, but you're not even playing the movie. Like the movie is 1 frame a second, and that's if you move every second. It is very much a boring experience, but it has cool concepts, which is why people were interested in them enough to add them to other games that are actually good and fun to play. But that's kind of the thing. That's the best conservatives have gotten in what fucking 20 years of whining and bitching about nonsense. Because really, this has been going on since 2004. The difference is that back then, this guy was Bill O'Reilly, and Kotaku was Hillary Clinton, and that was it. We just had everyone was against video games in the mainstream media. Now mainstream YouTube. What do we have? Everyone's against video games again, but now they're fatter and uglier. So now we've got a fat, ugly guy pretending to actually be a man, but he's not. We know what you look like, retard. We know you're a fat fucking piece of shit. So, that's the thing, though. He has to LARP as a guy with muscles. Because if he didn't, he would lose all the respect of his fucking annoying 12-year-old fans. But did I say fans? I meant hate watchers, maybe at the most. If that. Not really even that. Let's face it. There's a bunch of 12-year-olds that occasionally watch him just because like they want to say a slur, and that's the thing. That's all he has is people from middle school who like slurs. They see that he says retarded and gay, so they watch it, and then they're bored. Like that's all that it is. That's all that it is. That's all who watches these kinds of slot videos. That's why, this is the most popular video he has. The pussification of video games, right? 1.2 million views, right? Now, notice his actual, videos promoting things, 12K views. Now, what this means is that his videos are just garbage. Because if you can't get good views out of positive content, then no one's really watching you for you. They're watching you because you're being a fucking loud, obnoxious piece of shit, and that's all that you have value for. And so that's all that he has value for. He can be a loud, obnoxious piece of shit. He can have high energy, be a Jelly Bean ripoff. Also, let's look at Jelly Bean. Well, let me show you what I mean, right? This is Jelly Bean, very loud energy person, right? Got a lot of energy in her videos. Now, the thing is, you'll notice a very similar view count on a lot of her videos, right? But one thing you'll notice that you don't notice on his side of things is that she's able to just do positive things with it, right? All her content is actually fun to watch, for the actual content itself, because she's actually fun as a person, and she has more views on some of her videos and way more subscribers is another thing. And that's because she's just entertaining. Now, she's also a kids content creator. The difference is, instead of just saying the fuck word and the retard word and that's it, she actually does this thing called have decent gameplay and fun, a fun energy. So this is all Andypants is just this this but with slurs, right? Let's watch a couple seconds of this because I really can't like I don't really enjoy this kind of thing, but let's show you.
Let's make a deal. So recently, I've been thinking about changing my YouTube banner. I know you're thinking, why should I care?
This is literally just the amount of mental energy that this guy's entire schlop has.
Because the top like comment of this video will be...
But this person actually has some like funness to it. That's all it is. It's all this retard will ever amount to. Being a knockoff of Jellyfish that hates everything and doesn't get to love anything. But granted, you know, what I want to know really is why a gay disabled man is mad that Master Chief is gay and disabled like him. Like you're just they just put you in the game, man. That's all it is. I guess they made him black. So yeah, you're right. But yeah, the fucking gay retard. You know, this is what I love to say call projection. It's their only move. They're the weakest Pokemon imaginable. There's millions of them, but none of them are actually valid in anything. The quartering is what their biggest one, and what happens when you go to see what people's opinion of him are. Well, he has one of the maybe third or fourth largest thread on Kiwi Farm shitting on him for being a lolcow, and that's it. Like that's it. Like everyone shitting on him. Everyone. There's not a single person who likes the quartering. And that's kind of the thing. Everyone who pretends to only pretends to because they don't know how much of a lolcow status they'll have hanging out with the fat fuck until it's too late and they're already lolcows perpetually for the rest of their lives. Which means when it comes down to YouTube ends up losing like a lawsuit or something, and they no longer can get paid to grift off this shit, they'll all just be homeless because they'll have no way to get a job and their channel will be irreparably harmed, and they won't be able to make good content and be seen as a reasonable person. That's all that'll happen. Like eventually this grift will fail, but it will fail because of lawsuits to YouTube that will literally just penalize their entire income so badly they'll have to just shut the fuck up and die homeless and poor. Because at the end of the day, that's where this grift leads. Homelessness and brokenness. So, you know, like, I had to say it, but, you know, here's the funny thing, right? You know, they always like to shit on Kamala, but, you know, I like Trump, but I like him because he'll make these fat fucks actually get a job, right? That's what it really comes down to. These fat fucks will have to get off their ass and do a job. Because there's ain't no way Trump's giving them welfare. So here we go. These guys hate Kamala, but Kamala is the only thing keeping them alive. You know, if she, you know, if Biden and Kamala lose this race, and then a lawsuit happens, these guys will be homeless on the street with nothing in a couple months. I can guarantee it. But that's just me. You know, what do I know? I'm just a person with fucking brain cells who recognizes history and sees the patterns in it. Have a good day.